Hey, this is Jordan,
Hey, this is Oli.
and welcome to the Real Cut Podcast, where we give you our unfiltered take on life.
Hello, hello, hello.
How's your weekend?
It's been good. Been good.
Yeah.
Today's my Sunday as always, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
my Sunday Monday, and it's been a great morning so far. Got my workout in, so I'm feeling jazzed, which will probably
Awesome.
be like maybe the constant around this because we usually
Yeah.
film afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
and
mean, you were in the gym for a while because I called you with a question about recording. You were
yeah.
in the gym and you're like, I'm going to be in here for at least another hour. Like, oh my gosh, how long have you been there?
Yeah, an hour already by that time.
That's wild.
Yeah, well, it was chest day. It was a good day to just pair it up and get
Yeah.
in there in a good way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that actually in the gym today because it's a time I kind of meditate and take a lot of time and think to myself and think about things I need to get done or to do. And it's kind of funny. I talked about how we talked a lot about working out prior episodes, and I talked about like getting anxiety or even like angst out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if people are going to hear this and be like, is he just always angry when he goes and works out? And he's just walking around like listening to death metal.
Hey,
But it's
it's a
funny
good
because
outlet.
it is. No, it's a great outlet for those things. But like, it's also, I mean, I love to work out on days I'm feeling great too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and just happy.
So which one was today?
Today's happy. It was a great
Ooh,
mood. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Always. I mean, we talked about it. So there's always down days. You know what I mean? But today's a great day. There's nothing.
Good.
Yeah, getting things done, accomplishing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was horror movie day,
Oh,
which was
yes.
awesome.
Yeah. What did you
Yeah.
watch?
Ooh, I've got the list actually.
Heck yeah.
We watched all literally when I say we laid around and watched movies all day, I mean it like
Mm-hmm.
100%. It was great. It's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I needed. Picked my son up.
Good.
We got food. I got like little things for every meal, so I didn't have to worry about anything, right? Like I knew
Yeah.
he's taken care of. I can just relax.
Yep.
So we started with The Haunting.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie? It's a good one. Liam Neeson's in it. It's about a house.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a good one. You
I
should check
won't
one out.
remember.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Mixed it up, switch it to
Yeah.
old school, some comedy in it,
Mm-hmm.
but still vampires, right? Then we went to a new movie neither one of us had seen, which was Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a newer, I should say. There's a
Okay.
second one out right now. It was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took it old school again and took it back to A Nightmare on Elm Street,
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Krueger,
Yep.
right? Original.
Right.
And none of these Lyle had seen. So it was really cool to
Oh,
share these with him
wow.
actually and like have that moment, you know.
Yeah.
And then Slither is one. Have you
Okay.
seen that one?
No.
Slither's a
I
great
haven't
one.
seen most horror
Oh,
movies.
really? These are really good
Yeah.
ones.
Hmm.
Are you just not a big horror fan? It's okay.
I have to be in the right mood.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And it's like not very often. It's kind of like
Yeah.
with sushi.
No, I get that.
I like it, but I don't feel in the mood for
Right?
it
I like
most of
it.
the time. And then all of a sudden I'm in the mood for it and I have to have it.
I mean, it's
Same
like a
with ice
hankering.
cream.
Oh, I
Don't
love
normally
ice
want
cream.
ice cream, but
Really?
if I'm in the right mood, I'm like, okay, I have to have it and nothing else will do. So that's how I am with horror movies.
That makes
But it's
sense.
just a few times a year.
Yeah, you get that itch
Yeah.
and you have to scratch it.
And literally ice cream and sushi, same thing, couple times a year.
Really.
It's not like a week or a month.
Do
It's
they
like
ever like
literally.
overlay? Do you ever get like the perfect trifecta of horror movies, sushi, and ice cream that all hits at
They're
once?
just all too rare. Like the odds are just low.
Yeah.
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 No, I
That'd be
don't
funny.
choose it.
If that ever happens, I want you to text me and be like, "It's happening. I'm eating ice cream and sushi and watching a scary movie." Like, it's the
I would
trifecta.
never mix sushi and ice cream.
Well, no, not at the same time. That would be so bad. Like, what would you make like an ice cream sandwich sushi like piece? Would
That would
you?
be so
Oh,
gross.
that'd be so
That
bad.
would be a horror movie in
That
and of
it
itself.
really
Ah,
would be. So, and then the last one we ended with The Frighteners.
okay.
Yeah, which is a great one. Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox, Ghosts,
Okay.
and all that.
Okay.
So we started with Ghost, ended with Ghost. I tried to keep
Hmm.
it across the realm, different types of scary. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it didn't get like boring
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good
Pretty
day. It
good.
was good to rest and relax.
Yeah.
Um, oh, so but we were hearing other things. I wanted to ask you some questions.
Okay.
So on the way, dropping Lyle off to school today,
Okay.
um, I heard some great questions and like they made me laugh, and I was like, okay, I gotta ask Jordan
Okay.
these.
Like on the radio or something?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank you for clarifying.
Just like in your head,
Yeah,
like the voice is talking to you.
absolutely. Yeah. So Patricia
Yeah.
wanted me to ask you.
Wouldn't be surprised after that
Yeah.
lineup you watched yesterday.
That's true. No, that's fair. You got me.
The demon made its way into your car.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one with a demon.
Those are freaky to me.
They're very scary. Well, and
Hmm.
I've seen it, and this one I debated watching again, but we didn't. It's an interview with the devil, I think is what
Mm.
it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like an exorcism they try to perform on TV, and I think it's based
Okay.
on a true story,
Mm-hmm.
and it's insanely
The
creepy.
freakiest ones are based on a true
Well, of
story.
course, yeah, that's where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
if it's something that can happen, I think that makes
Yes.
it even scarier. Like Scream
Absolutely.
is scary to me because that's just people stabbing people. That happened. That can
That
happen.
happens.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's something that can actually happen. When you have a zombie movie and they explain the plot away well,
Mm-hmm.
that actually, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, it's a bio like hazard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to think of the word. Like,
Yeah.
but then it makes sense. Like, or anyways, getting off track as we do.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
the first question is a yellow hat falls into the Red Sea. What does it become? A yellow hat falls into the Red Sea. What does it become?
Okay. Hold on. I'm close. I'm close.
Mm-hmm. But if you guys know,
Orange chat.
no in chat. See, that's what I was thinking. So it becomes wet.
Oh, well, there you go. I was
Yes.
going way too deep with that
No,
one.
absolutely. That's the point though of these, right? Is that
Yeah.
like they kind of make you think.
It becomes,
Oh,
yeah. That one.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that one wrong too.
Okay.
That's why I wrote these down. Loud did as well, and so did the person on the radio.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So we are all in great company.
Okay.
Second question. You pass the person in second place. What place are you in?
First.
No,
What?
you're in second because
You
they were in second place and you passed them. So
what
you
if
took their
you what
spot.
if you also miss the person
That would
first?
be that's not part of the question
Dang
though.
it.
Yeah, right. No. And
Why?
again, I said the same thing. Yeah, you're not alone.
Wait.
So did the person on the radio. They said first also. But when you pass the person who is in second place, you're taking their place. So you then become the second place
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Ugh, that's
And
hard.
when you
Why is
pass
that
the
so
person in
hard? That's
first,
like the chocolate milk joke.
the cho tell me the chocolate milk joke
Well,
again.
okay. Yeah. Wait.
Wait,
Hold on.
no,
I think it's easier than what I'm remembering.
no, that's okay.
I'm sure you've
Those
heard it.
I'm sure I have, but it totally gets you. This person on the radio said the same thing, first
Yeah.
place. I was thinking as well because I'm driving and I'm thinking, oh, you passed second place, you're in first place now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically, no, there's still somebody in first.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
I almost got it.
Okay.
So the chocolate milk joke, it's something along the lines of, where does chocolate milk come from?
Mhm.
Like I guess like a ton of people think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't
Absolutely.
remember the joke.
No, yeah.
That's crazy that people think that.
It
That's
blows my
wild.
mind that that's a real
Like
thing.
so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the chocolate milk comes from brown.
Yeah,
It's
I
so ridiculous.
know.
So, but I mean, like, so where do they think white milk comes from? Because normal
There's
cows are
aren't
black and
like,
white. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, where's the
normal milk
logic here?
cows are.
Normal milk cows are just all white, though. That's my point.
No, I
So
know,
where's the
right?
black in our milk? Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
they're
know. I know.
it's just trying to go down the same logic,
I know. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
funny. Um, I got a couple other riddles here.
Okay.
Uh, let me ask you. So, what is a head but no brain?
Like broccoli.
Oh, I guess that could probably a lettuce.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But and you're down the
Yeah,
right path.
yeah, okay.
Um, I'm sweet and cold with a stick to hold. A treat on a hot day. Worth more than gold. What am I?
Like a popsicle.
Boom, nailed it.
Why worth more than gold?
On a hot day. I think they should have swapped those around.
Oh,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay. Like
Uh,
gold's worth more than me, but
yeah.
I'm still delicious.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he's worth more than gold on a hot day. I think they should
I'd rather
they
have the gold.
same. I mean, if we're being honest, with the gold, I can buy a lot of popsicles. Uh, let's see. Ooh, I'm not a blanket, yet I cover the ground. A crystal from heaven that doesn't make a sound.
Snow.
A snowflake.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, you nailed it.
Uh,
Um, ooh, I am easy to lift, but hard to throw. What am I?
um, what?
A feather.
Oh yeah, that is
Right?
good.
That's a good one,
Yes,
huh?
absolutely.
Yeah, those are
Those
pretty
are
fun.
good.
Those are
I
pretty
really
fun.
suck at solving riddles, but they are
No,
fun.
I am
They
too.
are
I'm
great.
not very
Yeah,
they're fun to
yeah,
listen to. I always liked them because well, it always makes me I'm being geeky, like being a Batman fan. Like he
yeah,
had the Riddler,
yeah.
right?
Oh, okay, okay,
And
yeah,
Batman was also known to be like a great detective. So I guess actually I take that back. I kind of do like riddles
yeah,
because I love mysteries.
yeah,
I love a good talking about movies as we were already.
yeah.
I love a good whodunit, you know?
Okay, great.
I'm
Yes,
about
for
it.
sure.
Anything Sherlock Holmes,
Yes,
I love that stuff.
yes.
So I would definitely, but I don't think I'm good at riddles though either.
Yeah,
Just to
but
be
you like
honest.
them. You
Yes,
appreciate
yeah,
them.
I appreciate them. Good way to say
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Um,
So I got a submission
speaking of riddles,
for our next. So we'll do that today. Our
yes,
dating episode.
yes, dating can be like a riddle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
people themselves.
exactly. People can be riddles, hard to read.
And then you got a submission too.
I did. Yes,
So
absolutely.
just a reminder to everybody, we will share it anonymously
Yes,
if
anonymously.
you send it to the Real Cut Podcast at
At
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. But so I think I'll share this one. And I also thought of one. I know last time I said I probably have a few, but I can't think of them. So I thought of one.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah. And but I'll go ahead and share this one if you want to get yours ready, and we'll just
Yeah, absolutely.
share these because they're always so entertaining.
Everybody loves them. Yeah.
All right, so this one was submitted, and I'll just read it. It's not very long, but I did glance over it, and it's, pretty awful. Lots of red flags here. So, all right, worst dating story. I met a guy on Plenty of Fish, and we decided to go out.
Okay.
When he picked me up, the whole interior of his car was missing.
Mm.
I mean, the paneling of the doors, the fabric on the ceiling, everything. Major red flag, true crime stuff.
Okay. So can I step in to start? Just as a
Yes.
guy
Yeah.
who has worked on his cars, right? And knows a couple guys who have project cars.
Yeah.
I just want to like, oh, we can't ask, I guess. Like, I just want to like, yes, red flag. Also, though, is he like a mechanic? Is this guy like a car guy? Because he could be like making this into. So while it doesn't look nice, if it's a project car he's beefing the engine up in,
Right.
it could have not the best interior.
Which I feel like, though, he should tell her that.
Agreed.
Like,
Yes.
like
It
from what I would imagine he just didn't
doesn't
say
sound like it.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing to be like, oh man, I'm gonna pick you up, but right now, like my car is ripped apart because I'm working on it.
Absolutely.
Don't worry,
Sounds like
it's
she was
still
shocked by it.
safe. I'm a mechanic. Like he probably was just acting like it was normal.
Yeah,
Maybe it was normal to him.
maybe. He's one of those bucket
So
guys. He drives around sitting on a bucket. Okay, I need to stop
on
interrupting.
a bucket.
Yeah, have you ever seen that before?
No.
I've seen, yeah, like the little
Does not
buckets you
sound
get
safe.
from.
Like an
No, it's
actual bucket,
like
like
an
from Home
actual.
Depot?
Yes, that's exactly. Yes.
That's safe.
No, of course not. No, you're absolutely right. 100%.
Oh my gosh. Well,
They still put the
what if
seatbelt
he
on.
did that? What
See,
if he
people
had
do.
his bucket for her?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a
Oh,
real
there
gentleman. I
he's
brought
like,
you a
"Hey, I
bucket,
got a bucket
my
seat."
finest bucket
Which,
with
if
a
you
pillow
understand
on it.
that's an auto joke right there, because there are actual bucket seats you buy for racing
Oh, yes,
that are
yes.
nice seats.
Uh-huh.
So, he has a
That would
bucket
be
seat
fine,
for
but not like a bucket.
no, no.
Yeah, I feel like if I
Yeah, what would
got
you
into
do?
a car, I would ask. I'd be like, "Whoa, what are you doing to your car?"
Right.
And then if they were like, "I'm working on it, blah, blah, blah,"
Understandable
then
then.
I would probably inquire as to the safety of the vehicle.
Yeah,
And if it was safe, I would get
that's
in.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say if they're like, "Oh, this is just my car, it's whatever,"
Mhm.
I might be like, "Ooh, like,
I don't know about that.
let's take my car."
Yeah,
Like let's do that.
and maybe we meet
Yeah,
somewhere.
meet you
Yeah.
there. Or if it's somebody that like you'd need to meet there,
Mhm.
should you be going on a date with them at all?
Ah, that's a fair point as
Like
well.
probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe a pity like polite date
Maybe
and
it's a
then
first
like,
date. You don't really
oh,
know
I'm
the
not
person.
feeling yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, there's a lot of killers out
What would you do if a girl
there.
had what would you do if a girl had the entire interior of her car missing?
Um, I would be investigative. I would have
Yeah.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Agreed. I'd be like, "Oh, so what's going on here?" I'm not good. I would just be scared,
Yeah,
like I'm awkward.
yeah.
I would just awkwardly ask and be like, "You're missing the inside."
Are you aware?
Yeah, yeah. Like, did you know you have no interior? Like, are we Fred Flintstoning this? Is that the game plan? Or is our feet gonna go through and go?
Yeah.
I
No.
would probably make jokes and
Yeah.
I'm awkward and
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I did ride in a Jeep one time that was from the 70s and it
oh
was
wow,
so rusted out. The floor was rusted out. You could
really?
see the ground through it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Red
like kind of
flags.
exciting.
Yeah, no. I was freaked out. I
I
was
know.
like, but it did have like it had some cool things about it, but yeah,
Really?
I didn't like that. I felt like I was gonna fall through the floor.
I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
not
bet you
about
did.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's no good.
So I think that this guy probably just
It sounds like
it
she has
was
no
that
idea this was
way.
coming. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
she
like it's
probably
fun.
didn't know what to do,
Right.
like about asking, like, "Oh, shoot."
Well, and I get it. Your first time meeting somebody, it can be awkward. Not everybody like
Yeah,
I got the tism, so I just say stuff when even when I'm not
yeah,
supposed to.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
not everybody's like that. I
There's
get
no
that.
filter.
Yeah, not everybody has that. Yeah.
Uh, all right, so that was the first half, and
Okay.
then the second half. We went to Red Lobster, and he told me I had a budget.
Oh no.
I don't know if you want to open with that,
That's not a great
you
opener.
know?
Yeah.
Maybe like before the date, that way they can turn you down if that's an issue. And
Right.
then if someone is an equal cheapskate, then they might be totally fine with that.
Right. And I understand having a budget, but also
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
should have like a slush fund. I feel like
Yeah.
that's something if I know I'm going on a
Mhm.
date,
Yeah.
like one, I know where I'm taking the person, so that generally
Yeah.
costs the plates, right? You're gonna
Yes.
think
Yeah.
about what they're gonna generally order. And
Right.
then I feel like you put a little slush on top of that, right? Like a little like,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah.
extra for drinks or whatever may come,
Right. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Or if
And if
they
you
want
can't
a
do that, you don't
dessert.
go on dates.
Yeah. Exactly. Like use that your dating time for another job,
Right. Exactly.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went to Red Lobster and
Okay.
he told me I had a budget. He
Mhm.
told me not to spend more than $12.
That is a budget.
Ugh, get
That is a
you can't even
budget.
get the biscuits for that.
The
The
cheesy biscuit.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah,
You can't
everybody
even get
loves
that
those.
hardly.
No.
Okay. So she got the clam chowder.
The chowder.
Poor thing. Then he proceeds to order the lobster.
What? No.
That's probably
No.
even for cheap Red Lobster prices, it was still probably
No, it was more than what she ordered.
you know what
Like,
I
yeah,
mean?
how are you gonna be like, "Hey, you have to" that's like a weird control thing,
I know.
right? Isn't that what that would
Yeah.
be? Like,
Well, and like I guess just super selfish.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
How are you gonna order yourself something that's
yeah,
way more and then, like, tell somebody else that they can't have that same amount? Like, that's
I know.
oh, man. I would just be like, "I'll pay for my own meal, and I'm gonna have the lobster also."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
"Guy, are you joking me?" You
Oh
know?
my gosh.
So they
Yeah.
obviously, I'm sure, never went out on another date.
That's exactly what she said. She said Needless to say, I never went out with him again. I was trying to look online to see how much it was, but I mean, guaranteed 50 plus. And that's
Yeah,
a cheap, like it's Red Lobster, it's a chain.
right, absolutely.
Anywhere
So,
else at like an actual like steak place, it will be 90 plus
right,
or whatever, like at Rudy's here in
absolutely.
town, which is
$12.
good. But
He might
yeah,
as well taken her and got her like a value meal at McDonald's.
yes, she could have actually probably like gotten
Yeah,
full clam
actually had a
chowder. If
meal.
I'm hungry, that's not going to cut it.
No,
And I
no,
don't eat a lot at one time, and that would not cut it. No.
it's
So,
it's not enough food for anybody.
mm-mm.
Um, and just wow,
I know.
like I just can't.
That
I'm just
poor
like,
girl. Like
yeah,
that's a
to fathom
double.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's so many red flags with that. Like,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna have a crappy car like that, and then you're gonna be like,
And without
"Hey,
like a
there's a
good
budget."
reason.
Right, right. Like, I'm like, "Okay, maybe
She
this guy
probably
just doesn't
thought she
have
was
much
gonna get
money." Some,
murdered.
yeah, no, for real. After
Yeah.
that, and then he ordered
Hmm.
like the I was gonna say prime rib, not right.
Yeah,
The
but the
lobster.
lobster,
Yeah,
yeah. By the
the
way, hey,
prime rib of the
lobster,
sea,
I
some would
hate.
say.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like
I've never
mine.
had
Do you like it?
lobster.
It's not, yeah.
It's not.
I don't. Have you had like crawfish?
Yes,
I mean,
when I was
it's
younger.
not, to me, it's not like it's kind
Do
of
you?
tasteless to
Yeah,
me.
I was gonna say.
To me,
I don't know. That's so funny.
not but
No.
like kind of tasteless, and
Yeah.
I don't, it's like about what you dip it in and like
Okay.
that sort of thing.
That makes sense. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the
Like
butters and
crab
stuff like
is
that.
better.
Yeah. I like crab. To be honest though, I don't like a lot of seafood, so I'm not like the best person to
Mm,
like jump in
yeah.
and be like this or
Yeah.
that about
Yeah.
seafood in general.
Right.
Um, it's not a big fish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, more land than
That's
surf,
okay.
more turf than surf. That's the saying right
There you
there.
go.
There it is.
I don't know if it's a saying,
Oh, well, it is
but it
now.
is now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Real Cut Podcast bringing you sayings.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
2024.
Yeah, that's right. So what was the
Oh,
one that you got written in?
so she wrote in, and let me make sure. Let's see here. All right. So this listener wrote in, and she said that I once went out on a date with a guy I refer to as a sensitive rocker to my friends.
Okay.
He's actually the drummer for a really popular cover band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say that
Okay.
plays where. Stop myself there.
You what?
I'm
Oh
not going to say
yeah.
where because we're trying to
Okay.
keep as much
Okay.
anonymous as we can,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Uh, he's a big guy. He plays like the devil, and he looks a little bit like the Undertaker when he gets into his music. So he's got a
Mm-hmm.
very tough look,
Yeah.
right? You know
Okay.
what I mean? Tall,
Yes.
dark, handsome.
Right.
You know, an Undertaker like from wrestling. If somebody doesn't,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
like the
Okay.
Undertaker, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, it was their first and only date. She
Mm-hmm.
says.
Okay. So it must not have been great.
No.
Okay.
Come to find out, he was the complete opposite of his persona on stage and online.
Okay.
He spent the whole dinner at Cheesecake Factory, which she loves,
Mm-hmm.
talking about his Firefly fan fiction, which Firefly is great, nothing wrong with it.
Like,
But
what is that? What
so
is?
Firefly is a really popular like geeky TV show
Okay.
that was a lot of people would argue was canceled too soon.
Okay. Okay.
And there was always like hopes it was going to be brought back, but it never was.
Uh-huh.
So a
Okay.
lot of fans have actually like fan fiction.
Yes.
It's a big thing,
Yes.
but you don't spend the whole time talking about it. Just as like a
Yeah.
geek, I am, right?
Right.
So like
Yeah.
I can understand
Or
his
make sure the other person wants to.
exactly.
Like if they're equally, like
If they're
passionate about that, then
absolutely,
yeah. But
I've dated
obviously he wasn't picking up on the fact that she
no,
wasn't.
yeah, like
Yeah.
obviously he was just hyper focused,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because yeah, I've dated girls who like Star Wars,
Yeah.
and we were able to talk about
Yeah.
it.
But you
But
still
otherwise,
focus on each other.
right. Otherwise, I really don't talk about that stuff though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
know better. Like, yeah. So this guy,
Right.
no intention.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and oh yeah, his Firefly fan fiction and why he prefers his left hand to his right hand when he jerks off.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
I am curious why. Is he right-handed or left-handed?
it does not get into that unfortunately. But I
Oh,
mean,
can you have her update the story?
I can try
Because
to
I
figure
feel
this out.
like maybe that would be weird if the other hand was dominant.
Well, so I mean, I can talk to this.
You can tell.
I can talk
Let's
to that
sidebar.
question.
Let's sidebar on
Let's a little sidebar on that. But so,
Okay.
wait, so
Okay.
we're back to the story?
Yeah.
Yes, back to the story. So he spent, talking about which hand he prefers. Um, then they ended up, so she pushed through.
Okay.
They ended up going to a movie
Okay.
and they went to see a scary movie.
Okay.
Um, remember, this big, strong, like really burrow man
Right.
apparently jumped at every jump scare.
Uh-huh.
Um, she actually felt him shield himself behind her,
Oh my
watching the scary
gosh.
scenes.
What?
Like, so this big strong man used her as a shield. Like, normally, like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be like everybody should be allowed to be who they are,
All
right?
right.
But also, it is funny that he's this big, strong, like he's got this persona that he's this badass, and then
Yeah.
he's using the girl as a shield. Like that makes me
Yeah.
laugh.
Right. Like it's
Um,
like who cares what his persona is, but if it's not authentic to who you truly are,
that's what makes me.
that's the issue.
Yeah,
You
absolutely. If
know?
you're gonna be a big,
Yeah.
strong,
Well,
like
everyone has like like if you're in the spotlight, you're gonna have kind of your stage persona,
absolutely,
which is also fine. But
yeah,
like obviously it was like if you advertise as one person and you're actually another person, like that would be really not
absolutely.
cool.
Well, and I mean, she even says the same thing. She says,
Hmm.
as a horror fan, she takes her movie going experiences seriously, and as sexist as she may think it sounds as well, and someone said, a big guy like that being scared of movies like that is a major boner killer, as she
Yeah.
said.
I would say, okay, if he's scared of like whatever. But if it's getting in the way of the other person having a good experience, then you should
Yeah.
communicate that ahead of time before you walk into a horror movie.
Well, absolutely. So, I mean, you know this about me, and our listeners will as well. I pass out at blood from
Yeah.
time to time. It's not
Yeah.
something that happens all the time. Movies can
Right.
trigger it. It's
Yeah.
rare, but it can happen.
Okay.
And so anybody I date, like I kind of tell that too. I did. Oh, so we'll jump into one of mine.
Yeah.
So, oh man, here we go.
Yeah.
So I was younger, working at T-Mobile,
Okay.
and this is actually when I realized I needed to start giving people heads up.
Okay.
After this one.
Okay.
There was a girl that worked security at T-Mobile, and she
Uh-huh.
was just like this strong country girl. She was tough, and I was just
Hmm.
like so enamored,
Yeah.
right? And and she finally became available, and we decided to go on a date,
Okay.
and we go to see Saw,
Yeah.
and I forget which exact movie it is, right?
Okay.
But it's the one where Donnie Wahlberg cuts off his foot in the beginning,
Okay. I
and
haven't
it's
seen any of them. I
oh,
have no
it's like the
interest.
opening,
Oh,
yeah.
literally,
The
I'll probably never watch it.
Okay, so but you to understand what's going
Okay.
on,
But
right?
yeah, not good for someone who has
Right.
yeah.
And I'm trying to be like I'm kind of looking away here or there, but I'm also trying to be tough,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't want to like the last guy we just heard about. I'm trying to, I know she hunts. I know she's
Yeah.
like a tough girl,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, all right, I'm trying to be like there, but I also know myself. And then the last thing I remember is him like dragging himself down the hall. And then all of a sudden I woke up because that's what happens. I just
Oh,
wake up, right?
no.
And it's like you're kind of realizing what happened.
Yeah.
And then she's like looking down at me, like it's almost like this beautiful angel from heaven is like looking down at me, like, "Are you okay? Hello." And I'm like, "Oh, this is the last time I'm ever gonna see you."
No.
And she like was like so sweet and nice, and she was actually
Yeah.
going to school to be an EMT. So like
Okay.
this was like her area. Like she's like fanning me off and took
Hmm.
care of me, and she's like, "Hey, are you epileptic?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh my
And she's
gosh.
like, "Well, like, thought you were joking at first, but it went to flash saw, and it was
Yeah.
flashing white and black, and you fell
Oh.
over in my lap at that point,
Oh my
and you were
gosh.
smiling, so I thought you were joking at first." Like, she thought I was just being, like,
But your
playful.
body just must have had that look on
No,
its face or something on
exactly.
its face, on your
And then I
face.
started shaking because I shake when I pass out.
Yeah, so it probably seemed like
And
an afflicted,
right, and that's
seizure.
exactly.
Blah, blah.
Which I did get, so for the listeners, I did get checked out,
Okay.
and it's not. It's just,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, when I see blood, it puts me into a fight or flight,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's the flight that
Right.
takes control.
Yeah.
Um, so but yeah, so then we did not finish the movie,
Hmm.
and we did not go on another date after that, and
Um,
she was always super sweet to me, but that's it. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it was like she might as well pat me on my head. like,
Yeah.
"Hey, buddy," you know what I mean, kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ah." Yeah, but
Yeah.
nobody I've ever prepped with
Some
since.
people won't care and some,
Exactly,
you know.
most people haven't. Like,
Yeah.
I think if I would've prepped her and just
Yeah.
given her a heads up or something like
Okay.
that,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would've been a
Right.
little different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
mm,
makes sense.
but
Yeah. Kind of like the guy from the rocker guy. Like if he had given her a heads up,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
or not, if that would bother her, not go into the movie with her, to pick a different movie. Or
Right.
like I don't think anyone wants someone else to shield them or to use them as a shield, whether
That's
it's
the
a
part
guy
that
or a girl.
blows
Like you
my
don't do that.
mind.
If you care about the other
Yes,
person, you're
right.
not going to be like
Use them
hiding
as a
behind them.
shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's have you seen the videos where parents put their kids in front of them?
No.
Oh, there's like this classic video of they're watching a race, like it's a bicycle race.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the cyclist comes into the crowd, right?
Oh.
And the dad like grabs the daughter and almost like moves her in front of him. Like to,
Oh
yeah. And at first,
no.
like I've watched it because you know
Mm-mm.
me, I'm trying to be understanding. So I've watched it multiple times and I'm like, is he trying to move
Yeah.
her? And she just ends up
Oh,
being in the way of him. You know what I mean?
but it's
But
definitely not.
no. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
pretty sure he was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know the guy, obviously. I
Right.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
I can only tell
Oh,
by the
people
video.
do that. Like if that's your instinct, you should probably handle
Well,
something within yourself.
that's what I'm wondering because
Like,
he had like the wife was there, or it
mm-hmm,
looked like the
mm-hmm.
family, right? The what, and
Yeah.
it's like, what did she do
Mm-mm.
after that? I'm
Yeah.
wondering, was there obviously a fight later
Yeah.
that night or
Yeah.
something? Like
Yeah.
that's had to
I
have come
have
up.
known people, I have close friends who
Mhm.
have like lost respect for their partners
Mhm.
when that has happened. I know
Yeah,
one person in particular
yeah,
was married to their ex, and this isn't why they broke up, but it did
right.
create an issue
Absolutely.
when they were sleeping in a hotel room
Mhm.
and the fire alarms went off and so everyone evacuated and I don't there wasn't a fire. It was just
Right,
a faulty alarm, but everyone evacuated because
right.
you treat it like and
So you never know.
their partner ripped them behind them and ran down the stairs first and just totally left them in the dust. Yeah,
What?
I'm not kidding. And like that just like stuck with them and they just knew like they will always in the face of danger just leave me in the dust to
Yeah,
get burned by a fire and they will
literally.
be gone. Like ripped past. So yeah, so I mean that would be in like those moments are pivotal,
Oh,
you know.
100%.
So yeah. But
That's
um
so crazy.
well I thought of one of mine.
Tell me.
Yeah, so it isn't a long story, but it's like couple minutes long.
Perfect.
I also haven't told it in like probably five. I maybe have told you the story, so it might sound familiar,
Right.
but
But a lot
but I
as the
don't
vast
talk about it
majority,
very often.
yes.
Yeah. So so if I take a minute to recount a few things or I have to go backwards, it's only because
How dare
I
you?
don't think about it anymore, and I haven't in a long time. But okay, so I was pretty young. I was like probably 18,
Okay.
like fresh 18, and was living on my own because I got kicked out of my house like at 18. So I was living on my
Right.
own, really irresponsible. I was working a few jobs. I didn't know up from down. I was just like figuring out life. And I didn't have car insurance at the time, but I needed a car because
Yeah,
I had to get to work.
right.
And so I don't recommend that, but that is just how it was.
Happens.
Yeah, and I my car rear-ended a guy, and I just remember seeing his face in the rear view like, "Oh my," like, it was his baby, clearly. It was like a
Mhm.
fancy car, it was all modified. Back then, it was like people were, like, tricking out their car. They
Was
still
it like the
might.
Fast and Furious days? Like that kinda
Yeah,
okay, is
and,
what we're
like, it
talking
had,
about.
like, a custom, like, body kit,
Yeah,
and
it
it
had the
had, like,
spoiler.
turbo, like, that was the thing back then. I
Right.
don't know if it still is because I don't really
I know the timeline that
I
you're
don't
talking
know.
about though.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was a whole thing. So, I don't see cars like that really
No,
very often anymore. It
it
was like
really
a
was brought
fad.
in with the
Yeah.
movie. Agreed.
Yeah.
Like, there is still a culture, people are still doing it, but I
Right.
would say it's not as, like, the majority of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was one and I just saw the face. I just saw, "Oh my gosh, you have hit my pride and joy." And so, yes, so that
Yeah.
happened and I was like, "Oh no, I don't have insurance." And so followed him into a parking lot, and he gets out, and just like I was like shaking, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And it was this guy, and he was like a couple of years older than me, maybe like 4 or 5 years older than me.
Okay.
And so his car had, from the like bolts on my license plate,
Mhm.
it just had those two, like it had taken the paint off, maybe
Right.
dented it just a tad, but everything else is fine. Like no other bumper damage.
Perfect.
Um, I honestly don't remember what it did to mine. I don't think it was anything major. I
Yeah.
do remember the two little
You were probably under 25
off of
miles.
mine.
It literally wasn't
Oh
much.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was like pulling up to a stop sign.
Yeah.
And back then there weren't cell phones. They were. I didn't have one. A lot of people didn't have them.
Right. They were
And
still
they
brand new.
definitely weren't like smartphones,
Yeah.
because I'm 36. So this is a while ago. So if they were smartphones, most people didn't have them.
Right. You were rocking flip phones or bar
Yeah.
phones. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I didn't have one. I had like the one with the, what's the, where you push the button a lot to get to the letter.
Oh, that's like a flip phone. So you have to do
Yeah.
T9 texting.
Yes. T9.
Yes.
So I did have that.
Right.
That was it. So anyways, so yeah, not distracted driving or anything. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't have insurance. How he's like, I'm probably gonna need a new bumper. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much that is. And so I just remember going to work, like, oh my gosh, I can't even pay for car insurance. How am I gonna pay for this guy's bumper?
Right.
Like, what will happen? And so I get a text on my phone. I was working at an Italian restaurant. I remember we weren't allowed to have our phones on us, obviously. So I was like in the bathroom checking it. And he had said, you know what? I decided I'm just going to pay over it. So just pay me $40. And I was like, oh my gosh, like just the best
What a
news of my
deal.
life. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I met up with him to give him the $40. And he did the whole like, oh, I can't stop thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. Let's go out. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Ah." So anyway, I started seeing this guy.
Absolutely.
Full disclosure, I had a boyfriend at the time.
Okay. Okay.
I was 18 years old.
You were young.
That's just how it was.
We've all done stuff
I
like that.
know.
Yeah.
And like just horrible. So,
No.
but I was on the outs with that boyfriend
Right.
because there were some huge issues, but I was codependent on
It was a
this
transitional
person.
period.
It was transitional. So I was on the way out, but I hadn't ended it yet. Don't recommend that. But like I said, this is 18 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've made progress since then.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
anyways,
Well, you want to be able to look back and
yeah.
not the same person. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But my boyfriend that I was like slowly moving out of a relationship was this big tough guy, owned his own construction company, like had a lot of money, like had the big trucks, had the equipment, like built houses with his own hands.
Wow.
Like he was like intimidating guy.
Yeah. Sounds like
But anyways, so this other guy, the car guy, he was in the police academy at the time.
okay.
And he legitimately was, because he would show me like his, oh, on Wednesday we got tased. Here's the video from the academy. He would show, so like he legitimately was in it. Not that,
Absolutely.
looking back now, a lot of people go through that. It doesn't mean they'll become an officer. It doesn't mean that
Right.
they'll, it doesn't really mean, it's just like anything. You
Yeah.
go get your degree in it or whatever it is. You graduate from it, and then whatever happens after that is like not guaranteed. But
Yeah. It's
anyways,
essentially school.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do know he was in that, and he had like 2 other jobs to get him through that. And so we started seeing each other, and it wasn't
Mhm.
like dates. It was like hanging out at like my apartment or his house. So we were just like hanging out, and he started like catching like very strong feelings.
Okay.
And I was like, I just want to have like fun. Like you're my side guy.
Yeah.
Like you're my side guy.
Now, is he just making it known? Like he's like, I want more time, or is he?
Wanted to be exclusive.
Yeah, he's making it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd spent plenty of time together, but yeah, I wanted
Right.
to be exclusive. And I was just like, made it very clear. I'm like, I'm not gonna like date you exclusively. Like we're
Right.
having fun and that's it. Okay. So I felt like I was very forthcoming. I
Yeah.
said, I have a boyfriend. You are not my boyfriend. So, obviously this is another life. Like I was a very different person back then.
Right.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
So I was like, and it was like not like I'm like there were a few times where I hid him in a closet when my boyfriend was over.
Yeah.
I had like a cabinet that I kept empty for this reason. And so that happened a few times. So he was probably feeling some type of way. And he
Yeah,
would say,
absolutely.
break up with him. I know you're gonna break up with him. Um, I wanna like let's be exclusive. And it was this whole cycle.
Right.
And so then he started saying things like, there's this girl, that likes me. Her name's Ashley. She really wants to be with me.
Always an Ashley.
Yeah, it's an Ashley.
It's always
And I was like,
an
okay,
Ashley.
cool. Like, if you want to date her, then date her.
Have fun, yeah.
And he's
You're
like,
my side piece.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, he just kept talking about Ashley. And I'm like, listen, like, stop talking about her. Like, let's just hang out. Go, if you want to date her, then date her. Like,
Right.
whatever.
Make it happen.
Yeah. And he just kept bringing, and then pretty soon, Ashley started getting more and more possessive of him. Like, she started texting him all the time. Every second that we were together, he would always, his phone would buzz and he'd pick it up, respond to her, set it down. It would buzz again. And like, I'm just like that. This is
She's
the
on
like,
point.
yeah. And I was just like, but I was like, who am I to talk? Like, I'm still technically not broken up with this other guy. Like,
Right.
I have no business. But it didn't like bother me as far as like him though, because I was like, I didn't want to like be with him,
Right.
like dating.
You were just enjoying your time with it.
Yeah. And so um so Ashley just started really like, push. And so there at one point I was remember walking into work at the restaurant
Mhm.
and some other girl pulled up, this blonde girl, and she was like, "Hey, I know Ashley. She just wants you to know that she really wants to date this guy." And I'm like, "She can. Like,
Great.
I am not getting in the way of that." And so this girl's like, "Okay, fine." And so I'm like, "This is so weird that now Ashley's friends are like coming to me
Right.
saying to get out of the way and that Ashley really wants to be with him." But I just remember thinking
'Cause you're
like,
not trying to step in any of it. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, "Okay." And so but it was, like, to the point where he was being really like, it was like again, I had no reason, so I, like, let it go, but it was just wild that she started getting, like, more and more possessive of him, and, like, he would send her a message, set it down, and then she'd immediately reply, like, she was always responding the second he put his phone down, and I'm just like and so he started telling me more about her, like, he drove me in front of her house one time, and he's like, "That's Ashley's house." And I'm like, "Why are you showing me her
Why is he
house?"
doing
And then he's like, "Ashley just, telling me all these things about what she was doing and trying to be with him."
Is he trying to, like, make you jealous? Like, so
It
hopefully you'll,
well, it
like, go
definitely
towards
felt like
him?
it. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, why if he doesn't want to just like date her, then he should like, what's the deal? Is he trying
Right.
to get me? And he'd say, she wants to be exclusive, but you're the one I want to be exclusive with.
Yep, that's
Break
exactly
up
what
with
he's
your
doing.
boyfriend, and so I
Yeah.
was like, and I knew the car she drove. He said that it was a black Honda Civic.
Okay.
And this is where she lives. This is what she drives. This other blonde girl said she was her friend. And so Ashley was just like very much a part of my daily life
Right.
just because of that. Because I had been hanging out with him most days. I
Yeah.
liked hanging out with him,
Absolutely.
And so, and he would like leave. He worked at Safeway. So
Okay.
those dozen roses that are
Absolutely.
there all the time.
Yeah. Safeway's
And
my
so,
place.
yeah, and
But
so he would leave those on my car all the time, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay." And so this went on for a while. I don't remember how long. It felt like a long time.
Okay.
And then one day, he sits me down and he's like, got some tears, and he's like, "I have something to tell you." And I'm like, "What?" Like, what? He's like, "Ashley's not real."
Shut up.
I know.
So
Imagine.
he's messaging himself? Is that why the message comes back through immediately? Like, sorry. See, my Sherlock is like jumping in right now. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I'm going through all the whole story, like in my head. Like,
My mind's
what?
fun
Because he got messages. Like, yeah, like, so,
because
oh
she
my
was a real
gosh.
person to me. And that
Everybody,
time had
Ashley is not real. Keep going.
ooh,
Oh, see,
like when you're watching a movie and there's a plot twist and
yes.
your brain can't quite because something else was so real.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. I'll never
That's
forget
how
the
I
way
feel
I
right now.
felt. Yeah, like I knew what she looked like. I knew the
Right.
color of her hair. I had
Who is
talked
this friend that came by?
one of his friends that he convinced to do that.
What?
Mhm. So because of that,
What?
that made it very real. I
Could you
knew what she
imagine if I
drove.
came to
I
you
knew her house. I know.
and was like, "Hey, I need you to be like."
I know. I
I'm
wouldn't do
sorry.
it.
I'm
But
trying
I'm
not to
sure
laugh.
he might have told her something different
He
though.
had to have.
In her defense, like
But
he might have said something
she knew she
totally
was coming up to you and
yeah.
saying, "Leave him, like, Ashley wants to be with him." That is such a weird,
Hmm.
like that is
Yes.
such a
And so
weird
she was a real person. I had seen her messages.
right.
She had messaged, he had messaged me. I had had conversations with her. And one time he had probably that blonde girl call me one time. So like I
Yeah.
thought I'd been on the phone with her. So to have him say she's made up, I made her up
You
because
were
I wanted to.
catfished for jealousy. A
Isn't that
jealousy catfish? Is that what you call it? That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I know. It was so wild. It was so wild. I
That's so
just
wild.
remember, but he had lied. And
Right.
obviously, like, I had my own issues going on that was I was making really horrible choices. So I
Right,
totally
right.
got that. But at the same time, I was just like, I probably had just broken up with my boyfriend. Like, it was around, like, within the month.
Absolutely.
And I was just like, I can't do this. I can't
No.
jump into a relationship with you because of what just happened here that you
Right.
carried on, purposely carrying this on for like a while.
You made me think there was a person
It was
existing who
so
doesn't
wild. It
exist.
was
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah. And so
Like, what
I
else would he do to you? You know what I
right,
mean? Like, what else
yeah,
would he like if you
yeah.
were
And
actually
like
looking?
I do recognize that I had like not much room to talk as far as like honesty.
Which is good.
I will say
Yeah.
that there was violence involved with the guy I was breaking up with.
Right.
So not that that's a justification,
Absolutely.
but there was just like I knew I was getting away from that. I
Right.
just wasn't sure quite how because I was 18.
Absolutely.
So anyways, but yeah, so this guy I was like you need to leave my apartment.
Yeah.
You need to leave. I am never going to ever hang out with you again.
Right. No, it's how
And
can I ever trust you
so,
again after this?
yeah. And just the very last part of that story is I got a dozen roses on my car every single shift that I had for about a month. And every time I threw the roses on the ground, went into work. Threw the
Nice.
or drove off from work because he would do it while I was working.
Right.
Threw the roses on the ground, drove home
Nice.
for a month. I mean, it must have been hundreds of
Oh
dollars.
yeah, absolutely.
I think they're like, yeah, it was probably like $50 a week.
Yeah.
Had roses, but anyways, so I would throw them because I was just like, I want nothing. Nope,
No.
nope. And
Yeah. You're obviously a love
so
bomber. Like there's so many
it
things like
was
all my counseling coming up.
so I
Yeah,
know,
that's so
yeah,
dude, the things people do, like it blows my mind.
yeah,
Like just
yeah.
be you.
And I don't know
Be
if he's a police
yourself.
officer now. This is the type of person that will
Oh,
literally, he might be a police officer. I
you
have
never
no idea,
know. You never know.
like, so
There's so many
anyways,
humans and so many jobs that shouldn't
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in every industry. But
In every
anyways,
industry,
so I
every
think
industry.
that was my trippiest, like,
That's a great one.
mhm.
That's a great
I
one.
just don't, I'll never forget the way that I felt when
That's
Ashley's not real.
yeah, Ashley is
Like
not
I
real.
felt like I felt like it'd be like someone telling me you weren't real.
Right.
That's how
You'd be
real
like,
it
no,
was. So, anyways,
that's such a good story.
yeah. So,
We'll
yep.
have to name this one Ashley's Not Real.
Ashley's not real.
I mean, that might give the story away, though. That's such a good
No,
twist.
I
I think
think
people are
that's
going to hear
real.
this.
And the nice thing is I
Mhm.
can use her name because she's actually not
She's
real.
not. That's what I was thinking about that the whole time. I was like, we're actually using her name, or is this a made up one? And then when you got to the end, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
oh, it doesn't
yeah,
matter. Like, she's
yeah,
that really, you took me through a whole spin. I think you have told me that,
yeah,
but it's been a while.
yeah.
It's such a good story.
So maybe someday the guy will listen to this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you do, come on the show as a guest, please.
Yeah,
No hard
absolutely.
feelings anymore.
Right. We'd love to hear. Have you Ashley'd anybody else?
Yeah,
Actually, like,
that is
has
exactly
it
what I
ever
want to know.
worked? You
Mm-hmm.
know? I mean, I've always, so I don't, I've never used like tactics.
Yeah,
You know, like my tactics have always been non-tactics, if
right.
that makes
You just
sense.
like say it
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
you're not a game player.
No,
Yeah.
I just, well, and I miss hints and things like
Hmm.
that. Like, so it's like, I
Yes.
just like,
As
I'm
we
looking for
know from the
straightforward.
memes I sent you.
Yes, 100%.
Or you bolt upright. Well,
Yeah.
what does
Like, why would you
32
sit up?
years later have to do with
Anything. This guy's
it?
sitting in his shop setting a bolt upright. And he's like, the bolt's flirting with him? I have no idea what's going on. I'm so confused. I'm just
Yeah.
like, did it happen 35 years when he was a young man?
Uh-huh.
Bolt hit on him and he's like, it's still happening.
Yeah.
No, I was so confused.
I know.
And then once you explained it, I was like, that makes perfect sense and
Yes.
perfect why you sent it to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So that is my dating story.
It's a great
So
one.
I'm hoping we get some more in.
Yeah, absolutely. These are a blast.
I know.
Yeah.
But our next episode
Mhm.
is gonna be entrepreneur
Yes.
focused.
Focused. Yep.
Hmm.
Back on entrepreneur focused and yeah,
What we do about
about
avoiding and
burnout.
dealing with burnout.
Sorry. Yeah, interrupted you.
No.
That's
Make
how
sure
we
we
do it.
said it at the same time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Burnout.
Burnout. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real thing. I know that we both, you know,
Yeah.
and I think anybody who has ever run a business, and even if you haven't run a business, I think, if you have a lot of things going in your life, maybe you work for
Hmm.
a corporation, but you still are spinning a lot of wheels.
Yeah.
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 Or plates.
So,
That's the saying. Spinning a lot of plates.
but spinning your wheels is a term.
It is.
Spinning plates. Is that
Yeah.
really one?
Yeah, because
Oh,
there's somebody who's like, you ever seen like they've got like all these plates spinning and they have to run around and keep them going so they don't
if
fall?
not.
You've never really?
How
Okay.
can you spin plates like that?
It's a thing. Yeah.
Oh, you need to send me a video.
Yeah, no, like I'm already I'm already like hold on. I'm sure like YouTube will spinning.
I couldn't even spin one plate if I tried.
No, yeah, I mean it's not something that's well that's
Like
that's kind of
pizza
the
dough.
point is that it's not easy to do.
Okay, let's check this out. Oh, they're on dowels.
Yeah.
You meant on your hands.
No, but I mean like see he's got to run
Oh,
back and forth and
yes,
keep them
totally.
going.
Totally. I'm gonna try that now.
So that's the whole point is that the saying is you're spinning,
I thought you meant like plates
Yeah,
on your
well, I mean,
fingers, like pizza dough.
listen, I mean, we could try.
Yeah,
We could buy some dollar store plates and try that.
yeah, just like not glass.
Yeah.
All right, good. Yes, so spinning plates,
Spinning plates,
spinning your wheels,
spinning
spinning,
wheels,
spinning out.
a lot of spinning, spinning
Yeah.
out. Yeah. That's the eventual, yeah, spinning out. And
So,
things we do about it.
yeah. Well, this was a fun one.
Agreed. Had a
Pretty
blast.
good. If you're listening to this, send us yours.
Absolutely.
We
Thank
want
you for
we
being
want to
patient
hear
with
it.
us too as we figure out all the technical sides of this
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything. I think we're doing pretty good, but
I'm already excited for our next bad dating stories.
oh, I'm so
I'll
excited.
have to see if I have another one in the arsenal.
I'm sure. And it's nice, like some come up too as we're talking, so then
I
things
got
make it better.
catfished by a fake person.
Can't believe you're a cat. Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yep. So, all right, cool. Well, thank you for listening to the Real Cut podcast, where we give you our unfiltered take on life and dating.